Hey guys, Joe here doing one from behind the camera. Pardon the wind noise because of course there'd be wind noise, but today we are taking a look at my 2014 Ford Focus SE, possibly and probably the cheapest 2014 Ford Focus one owner, low mileage, running and driving, clean title in the country. 2 years ago that wouldn't have been a cool statement, but in 2021, in the pandemic, this is actually a pretty big deal. As you can see, this is the SE. This has the aluminum wheels. It's the hatchback. It has drum rear brakes, which Toyota still likes to do on some of their cars. And it's in overall pretty damn good shape. And I'm going to explain to you once I get back into the car how I got this thing so cheap. And we'll talk about money when I'm back in the car too. But as you can see, there's no major flaws. A couple dings on the other side, but that's common. And yeah, overall, it's just your standard Ford Focus SE hatchback. Let's look under the hood, shall we? And again, I'm doing this all one-handed, so bear with me. Under the mighty fine hood, you will find a dual overhead cam. I believe this is an itty-bitty guy. What is this one? 2-liter naturally aspirated thingamajigger?
It's been a while, so I do apologize for not knowing the size of the engine.
Yep, 2-liter. I was right. Never mind. Backtrack on that whole didn't know what I was talking about thing. But anyways, this is the standard 2-liter that was in the Ford Focuses. It also came with a higher end engine in the titaniums, as well as a small turbo engine. This one makes 160 horsepower. Runs and drives super duper excellent, but it needs a little bit of cleaning because it's got 90K on it. And somebody's driving up and looking at me. I love those kind of people. Just get a frickin' life, dude. Let's go back inside the car. Inside the car, where the wind noise is much abated, and of course the wind went down the minute I started getting into the car because, you know, F it. But this one is your standard tach, speedo, fuel gauge, temp gauge readout, but this is a 2014, so it doesn't have the digital speedo. I'm not sure if you can update it to that. Has your regular radio, CD player, small screen, but it does have Bluetooth because it has the sync. They threw the sync into this one because why not? But yeah, the Bluetooth audio is a nice thing to have. It also gives you a USB and aux connection. And since it has Bluetooth, it typically will have this guy. You will see a very large number of Ford Focus SEs out there that do not have cruise control. Weird sounding, right? Not really. Hertz and Enterprise used these a lot when they first came out because they were very inexpensive and, you know, also part of its downfall, which we'll talk about in a minute. But a lot of them did not have cruise in the rental specs. This one does. Also has the voice recognition. And because it has all that, it does have power windows. Only cloth seats, but that's okay. But not a bad high-hand cavernous area for sitting in. And yeah, I'm wearing my hoodie because it was very windy. So let's talk numbers, shall we? I know this isn't a review, so we don't need to do that. This vehicle, and it's already sold, or it will be sold as of the time you're reading this. You can go to va.hibid.com and search it. I paid $3,052 for this car in September. That's cheap for a one-owner, under 100K Ford Focus that runs and drives. The reason I got it for $3K was because the ad or the auction that I bought it from said directly in the auction that sometimes this car buck jumps. For those of you that don't know, the fatal flaw in this sub $20,000 car is its transmission normally. Ford had to step up on that, but let me explain what the transmission is. Even though this has a shifter with the Prindle, P-R-N-D-L, Prindle, it is a manual transmission. Much like very expensive cars from BMW, Ferrari, Maserati, a couple other high-end companies. This is a fully automated manual transmission, which means it doesn't have your standard planetary gears and all that stuff. It does have a gear set, but it also has a standard clutch. Actually, 2 of them. This is a dual clutch automated manual transmission. If that sounds expensive, it's because it normally is, and I'm thinking Ford was trying to homologate it and put it in as many vehicles as they could, so I believe it was in this one and over in Europe in the Transits and a couple other vehicles. However, when you try to take technology that's typically in $35,000, $40,000, $50,000 cars and cram it into a sub 20K car, that is designed and marketed and sold to younger people who don't understand the concept of a manual transmission, you're going to have problems. And that's exactly what Ford ran into. The 2013 to 2018 Ford Focuses have a customer service bulletin or customer satisfaction bulletin that actually warranties these transmissions to 150,000 miles. So if you have one of these cars and it's just starting to act up, the check engine light will come on first because it's actually a failure of the TCM, which is your transmission control module, which causes all the other damage. If you have a check engine light that comes on, stays on, and then the vehicle starts slipping and jumping and banging through the gears, that's what you're faced with. What you need to do is contact your Ford dealership immediately because these are covered to 150,000 miles. If the TCM fails completely, the clutch motors, which handle engagement and disengagement of the clutches, will then start to fail as well. That is also covered under the customer satisfaction bulletin. However, if you abuse it by driving it continuously like that, you can damage the clutches themselves. The clutches are considered a wearable item. If you damage the clutches or you have too many miles on the car, you will have to pay for the clutches to be replaced. I got extremely lucky. I bought this from an estate sale. Unfortunately, one of the owners passed, and that's why they sold the vehicle. The other person could no longer drive the car. It had just started doing this buck jump. I ran the VIN number, saw that the bulletins were still in place. I called my buddy, who still works at the dealership, said, "Hey man, is it covered?" He said, "Yep. The only downside is there's a national back order because of computer chips and all that stuff." I said, "That's fine. Order me the parts. I'm buying the car." I bought the car in September. It's now November. It's going up for sale this week, actually, and it's finally done. Again, I didn't have to pay anything for the repair because I did not continue to drive this car with bad clutch packs or bad clutch motors, so I didn't fry it. I did replace the wiper switch and paid to diagnose it and a battery cable because one of the battery cables was corroded. So I paid $280 in additional repairs on this vehicle. So we're at $3,300. There was 10% buyer's fee, so we're at $3,600. And I titled it and put plates on it because I'm going to transfer my plates. So I'm in Virginia. We transfer plates to another vehicle. That cost me $200. So all in, I'm into this car for just under $4,000. That is a steal in 2021 money. The cheapest local 2014, 2015 Focus SE hatchback or sedan that I could find in my area is $10,000 and it has 112,000 miles and it has no record of the repair being done. So you're going to buy it and it may be fine, it may act up, and you may have to sit for 3 months waiting for parts. So whoever winds up buying this car, I've gone through it. The thing runs and drives fine. It's a great car. I'm the second owner. Hopefully, one of you guys will be the third. Again, if you want to try to buy it, it's going to be up on sale until Wednesday. Today's Monday when you're seeing this. I put up a special video today. Go ahead and click on that. Follow me on TikTok. I'll update that as well because I'm going to be taking it down to drop it off today and documenting that. If you have any questions about how to get good deals, let me know because people keep saying that there's no good deals in 2021. There are, if you're willing to invest either some time, money, or just your personal sweat equity. So that's it. This is Joe. This has been the Jiminy Show. I know it looked like it was going to be a review of the car. However, it wasn't. I just wanted to show you what I spent some money on in order to almost triple my money. So come back for another one. And as always, I'll talk to you later.